AfterBuzzers, we knew there would come a day when we would ask ourselves just what the heck did Mickey do to Ray to make him in so much pain? We're going to break it down. It is episode 11, season 5, Ray Donovan on the AfterBuzz TV drama channel.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I love this song.
Okay, people. Certainly do not put your hands on anything hot. Don't touch anything hot. Don't burn yourself.
Don't do it.
We must go over this and stay away from stoves. You all know what we're talking about. My name is Elysabeth Alfano. I'm so happy to be here with you again. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at DinnerPartyCHGO and all my celebrity interviews at thedinnerparty.tv. And I'm still on Facebook at Elysabeth Alfano, my fabulous co-host. Where can we find you?
Hey guys, it's Louiza Sharamatyan. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at LuluSharTV, and I'm on Facebook too at Louiza Sharamatyan.
And I'm Rachel Goodman. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Rach Goodman or on Facebook at Rachel Ann Goodman.
Okay, just statistically speaking, it's pretty rare that you find 3 people on Facebook. So we here are a little focus group. We still use Facebook. Okay, people. So I'm wondering, are you feeling a little bit of exhaustion about just how much Ray can go on in basically a drunken stupor through his life?
It's almost unreal.
It is unreal.
And here's the thing is that I don't think they ever told us specifically how much time had passed since Abby's death.
Right.
But it's getting to a point where I want something to wake Ray up. And I thought, I don't want to jump into anything too quickly, but I thought after this episode there were certain things that happened that would have woken him up, but by the end of the episode I didn't feel like he was any closer to some sort of closure.
No.
They keep dropping hints, but not all together. But we do know that Frank was killed 4 days ago from that episode.
Yes, we know that Frank, they were saying that he was in Mexico, obviously as a cover-up, because actually he'd been killed 4 days prior. Okay, so before we get into Frank and therefore Daryl, let's talk a little bit about Ray and how he sees Abby. It opens as her as a talk show host in Australia. Very strange. And dreams, of course, are like this. Dreams are strange and odd. He sees her as, and she's wearing a wig. I mean, it's very strange.
And not only that, but so he sees her with an Australian accent. Another version of himself goes up there, and it's it is not even Ray. It's some happy-go-lucky guy.
Happy leather jacket.
Yeah, I was expecting the guy to start speaking in an Australian accent to kind of match what was happening.
Yes.
And then he's watching this the whole time, and you don't really know if he's watching it like as a third person. So if he sees himself in the suit and he sees himself up there acting kind of like wonky for Ray, and then everything with the clowns and
which is Terry. The clown is Terry.
The clown was Terry, but also the chef was the crazy maniac who tried to kill Ray.
Yes, and then when the clown goes back behind stage, you see the priest bring back it was so strange.
This just shows
and
everything
odd.
his led to. He's just dreaming.
Well, you can see that he is still processing, and I think that's what dreams do for most people. They process the odd things that we have in our lives, and so he's taking all these odd bits of his life, and he's still trying to process. But for me, what it said is, remember the last episode, he was fixated on the Home Shopping Network and these hosts that seemingly had no relevance to his life, and here he has brought Abby into this Home Shopping Network.
Of Abby actually did throw out an odd bit too and said how she was molested by an uncle. Now we don't know how true that is, but did you guys catch that? Yeah.
Yes, and then you see Terry, who's playing this funny clown, as potentially her odd uncle, and then the priest bring back the thing. And she also is tempting Ray, go ahead, touch the stove.
And she specifically said, are you ready to try our miracle device? Which to me led back to the fact that she was going to do this miracle program.
Surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, right.
So that's kind of what it all, to me, boiled down to, was that everything that had happened with her was coming forth in this dream.
Also, the stovetop just shows that how much Ray is inflicting on himself as far as all of these horrible torturing himself when...
That's interesting that you perceive it that way, that this is
how I saw it,
Ray's way of torturing himself. I didn't see it that way. I thought as Ray's trying to process all this craziness going on, including the priests and the role that the priest played in his life, he's bringing up what I thought Mickey had done to him. So we're going to leave Abby and talk about Mickey. Do you think Mickey burned Ray's hands as a child on a stove?
Pooch did say, Ray, what did Mickey do to you? Did he burn you with cigarettes? Now that
right.
you say.
He said, that's right. And Ray laughs like that's nothing. Like,
having an aha
that's
moment
nothing.
again. Having an aha moment.
I took it like he was laughing because he was like, what hasn't Mickey done to me?
Oh, I thought he was laughing because he was like, cigarettes, that's nothing. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about. That's the tip of the iceberg.
He did something bad because he was going to give up Avi, which I knew deep down Ray wouldn't. He is dying to put Mickey in jail.
Yeah, it's his like sole purpose. Now that he no longer has Abby, that's all he wants to do.
And I think we will never know. I think this is a secret that Ray is even going to drag on all the way to season 6.
Oh, you don't think we'll get closure in Ep 12?
No.
Oh, gosh
They
darn.
need a great structure for a season 6. I think
see.
they're going to string us more along.
Well, okay, that's true. And we are jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
But when Mickey in jail says, this is the last time you F me over, I was like, oh, we've got season 6.
But
Here we go.
did you see the preview for next week when we think Mickey might sell out Daryl for killing Frank? Did you see that part?
It looks like that's how
Or
they're...
they're probably,
Yeah. I don't know. Here's the thing, is that kind of getting back to Mickey, so I think up until now, he has seen Ray as his son, and even though whatever he's done to Ray, clearly he's done something terrible that is not able to be forgiven, that we don't know about yet. But whatever he's done, he still saw Ray as his son. However, when he realizes in the bar that Ray has probably turned him in, he makes the comparison of saying that Ray is like his father, who's the meanest person that he ever knew.
That's why he was talking about that.
Yes, and his father's name is Michael, which is
Yeah.
also the name that the clown
episode.
pulls out of Terry's mouth. We're jumping all over the place.
That's
just bizarre. We're getting back to that for sure. Interesting. I saw it as something different. I saw in that moment Mickey saying to Ray, and he reaches over to grab his hand. I saw him saying, I may have been a bad father, but I know what bad fathers are, speaking of Michael Sr., and I still love you, Ray. Like, I'm not great, but I've always seen you as a son, and I want to repair that.
And I think that was his way of saying, don't do this. This is maybe he thought it was his final chance to get through to Ray and stop him from ratting him out.
It caught me off guard. I really thought they were going to bury the hatchet and they were going to move forward as
Ray
father
can't.
and son. And Ray was just going to give up Avi, just like he said he would. This was such a surprise for me.
I knew it was coming because Ray can't, and now he's so bereft with Abby's death that he has to get it out somehow. And punching isn't enough because he just punches everybody anyway.
That's
so
all he
that's
knows.
like
That's
that's all
how
he
he
knows.
deals.
Yeah. So I knew that he couldn't give him up. But I was wondering, do you think Mickey was being honest there, or do you think he was playing him? Like sometimes he plays Daryl because he wants to say the right thing to get what he wants.
In the moment where he talked about his father?
Yes, and reached over
At
to
the
Ray.
bar?
Yeah.
I think he was being honest.
I thought he was too.
Raw.
And
Because
raw,
Ray,
yes.
had every strength inside of him to put him away, which he did. So he was scared. And plus, let's not forget Mickey's issue with Jay White. That's a whole different can of worms that
Yes.
I was hoping would be taken care of if they just turned in Avi and everything will kind of, simmer down. But no, I think it's going to open up again.
So what do you think about Ray turning in Avi so easily? I was a little stomach churned by that.
What, the idea that he would say, oh, I'm turning in Ray?
For his daughter, he would do anything.
So for his daughter, for Bridget, of course, we're going to talk about the relationship with Bridget, which is so interesting. But I was a little surprised how quickly he was just like, yeah, I've got this thing.
He had one card to play, and that's what he had to do. There's no options left for him.
I never thought for a second he was going to turn Avi in, though.
How are you going to find him anyway? All the way in
Yes.
South Columbia or wherever
Right.
he is.
Yeah, but Ray was like, all right, how do I have to play this? So he plays Daryl, and then he goes in and he plays his card with the DA.
Brilliant.
And he
So
knew,
smart.
Yeah.
because it's like, not to get into Bridget, but it's like what Terry said, that he loves Bridget more than Abby.
even Abby, right,
Yeah,
of course.
so he's
his
going to
daughter.
do anything.
Yes.
There's so many great scenes in this episode, and we'll talk more about Daryl's character and how he broke down in front of Ray.
Well, let's talk about Daryl.
He has evolved so much.
Yes.
And the real tears from his eyes and how he really connected with Ray and said, what does it mean to you to be a man? Does it mean protecting your family?
I
Poor thing.
loved this.
He's not cut for this lifestyle.
Our
Mickey
only
is, but his
strong
not.
character.
Poor
He
Pooch.
thought it meant being a man and protecting your
He's so
family.
cute.
And he craves so much that relationship with Mickey, who's never
Where's
going
he
to be
gonna
there
go
for
now?
him.
So
Yeah.
But
sad.
Mickey craves Ray, and a relationship with Ray, and I don't know if that's because Ray's the eldest or if Ray doesn't want him, so you always want what you can't have.
Could be a combination of both.
Right,
Yeah.
but Mickey really craves a relationship with Ray, and Daryl craves that relationship with Mickey, and I don't think Mickey really holds him in high enough esteem. He kind of uses him as a pawn, almost like a hired gun to just do what I tell you.
Mickey is just, he's so childish. He even said, let's worry when we have to. When
Yeah.
poor Daryl was freaking out.
Yes.
But no, he's cutting up some tomatoes for a prostitute to come over.
Yes.
That just shows the level of character, right? But I agree with you too. I think Daryl just wanted appreciation and support from his dad, and he never got it.
No, and I don't think he will.
I knew too when Daryl was having a very nice dinner with his father and the woman. I realized that that's when it was going to happen because it was one of the very few calm, like normal moments that we
Right.
see with Mickey and Daryl. And of course, it had to get ruined by the cops coming
door
in. But
banging.
it couldn't stay normal.
And so later, Ray goes to Daryl and he says, oh, by the way,
Hey,
after
that.
he throws the glass of wine into the pasta and he pours
Pours the
himself
whiskey in.
a glass of wine size of whiskey, and then like drinks it in 2 gulps, he says to Daryl, you're going to do one simple
Hated
thing.
that scene.
You're
Yeah.
you're gonna get up, you're gonna find that gun, you're gonna walk into the police station, you're gonna say, Mickey killed Frank and I saw him do it.
Vulnerable.
Do you think Pooch, our dear Pooch, do you think Daryl will do it? Do you think he'll turn on Mickey?
I think he already did, right? Because his, well, oh wait, no,
I'm
never
not
mind.
sure. I'm
Never
not
mind.
sure about
he
that.
He left. We don't know where.
He left and he said, what did Mickey do to
Oh,
hurt
yeah,
you
yeah,
so
yeah.
badly? Whatever it is, it really effed you up.
And the reason why I didn't like that scene is because I wanted an answer.
Oh, I see.
It's been 5 seasons. I want to know because this is an arc
Yeah.
that hasn't changed.
Right.
From season 1, Ray has not liked Mickey, and he's given us little things here and there, but I really want to know. I want to know that answer that Daryl was looking for. What is it exactly
And
that
Daryl's
he
not
did
going
to
to
you?
have anyone anymore, I think.
Yes, and Daryl would like a relationship with Ray, but I think he well knows that Ray can't have a relationship with anyone, and he respects Ray, and Ray's the head, and he knows Ray can get things done, but really he wants a relationship with Mickey. And so without Mickey, he's lost.
We've come full circle because back to when Ray Donovan first started, Mickey was getting out of jail, right? Now
Right,
he's going
yes.
back to jail.
Yes.
Now season
Yes.
6 is going to be struggle. And by the way, he was writing to Abby at that time from jail. Now Abby's gone.
Yeah.
Who is his outlet now? I
It's
don't
gonna
believe
have to be Daryl,
I
right?
don't even believe that Mickey can take down Ray. Ray is a professional. He's amazing at what he does. So
I don't know. I don't think that Daryl turned Mickey in.
we'll find out.
I don't think he did. I think
No,
Daryl's going to be the one to get him out in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But I agree. I want answers. I
Yeah.
want to know exactly, because this idea, they threw in this hot stove, and several times intermittently throughout
So
the episode,
interesting.
we kept seeing, a stove on fire and a hot burner, and so
And
he must have been burned as a child.
I kept wondering why they were introducing that too, and you're right. He must have been. The thing is,
It's completely new, though. We're seeing it for the first
Yeah.
time now,
And
episode 11, season 5. It's strange.
it's like I kind of want a hint at least. And here's the other thing. I didn't realize that Ray was that mentally unstable. I mean, it was clear he was struggling. Didn't realize it had gone that far until the moment he places his hand on the burner. That tells me, okay, he's beyond
unstable,
anything that we
he's
thought.
all over the place, and we finally see a little tidbit of the therapist coming back for episode 12 just to show him
Right.
how much progress he has not made.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ray's at a point where he has lost everything. He even lost Bridget too. Bridget's off to NYC now.
Yeah, so
You know?
let's talk about that in 1 second. I just want to talk about Abby. How do you feel about Abby still popping up randomly.
I don't like it anymore.
Me neither.
Because here's the thing, and we were talking about this before the show. To me, the season feels a little disjointed because there was so much focus on what happened to Abby. It was all built up. We saw the episode finally. We saw how everything unraveled. And now we're kind of left with these little pieces of things. And the fact that Abby's still there, I just want closure on it. I want to know, like, the closure episode to me was when we saw what happened. Obviously, Ray is still going to struggle with that because he wasn't there. He didn't get to say goodbye.
Right.
But I kind of, like, if he's going to see Abby, at least have it be some kind of closure conversation.
Speaking of closure, Maureen popping up in
that was so
Ray's
bizarre.
face.
That was
Poor
so
thing,
bizarre.
we only
It
see a
didn't
second
feel-
of
Yes.
her.
Well,
She's supposed to be divorced.
And so there's no closure with Terry, but I just want to go back to what you were saying. I agree. I didn't like it anymore. Up until now, I was
much.
fine.
Yeah.
F10 but I don't want to see her just randomly
In that green dress, we
walking
get it.
by. Yes, as if like, the love of my life. And it's weird because I was surprised when I had that reaction. Why am I not letting a grieving person miss their love? But I was like, I've seen her too many times be your memory on the street. Like,
Yeah.
Either you're progressing and you're closing, or you're using her memory to take you to the next level, something.
That's my problem with Ray, is that there's no arc. He's been stuck in the same position, and I'm sure that's what they're trying to show, but I want to see a change at this point.
He is stuck. It's just, there's no other way
Also,
to say
if
it.
you were going to use Abby for all these flashbacks, why did you kill her off? You should have still kept her alive. And
Something.
killed her off season
Yeah.
6 or something.
Something. Okay, so as we said, Ray was not there for Abby's death, and Bridget was.
Yep.
So Bridget goes to jail. Oh, do we have a chat? Okay.
We have a bunch of comments in the
well,
chat.
Bring
it's
it, baby,
popping.
bring
you guys,
it.
Our chat's popping tonight.
Thank you guys for commenting. I'm going to read some of your comments now.
do it.
Awesome.
So, shout out to Hubby Joe.
How we love
Hubby
you.
Joe.
And Roberta Wright, she's been asking some questions.
Hi, Roberta.
Hey, Roberta.
So I'm just going to read her last question here. Well, first of all, her comment is, Ray is the middle son, always the protector. He's a tortured soul. Couldn't agree more with that.
Yep.
Her question is, though,
Spot on.
Ray has saved Mickey many times in other episodes. Why is he determined to get rid of Mickey for good?
That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
There's something he can't forgive him for.
Yeah.
It has to do with fire.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Apparently. But I haven't seen fire references before.
No,
Have
I
we?
haven't
This
either.
is completely new, so I didn't like that either. Because if you'd been burned as a child on a stove, that's going to come up your whole life with fire everywhere.
If he had done that to him, could he have gone anywhere near him? That's the thing, is that
Right.
you would think there'd be, maybe not fear because it's Ray, but there would be some kind of tick we would have seen.
Absolutely, and you would have seen Mickey address it. If it were that blatant that
Yeah.
a father took their son's hand and put it on a burner, you would see Mickey apologizing or saying, I didn't know what I was doing, or I was high at the time, or there's no excuse,
Yeah.
but this, but that, but that. And
There'd be some kind of foreshadowing.
like
The
Mickey-
only thing we see is Pooch's remark when he said about the cigarette.
Cigarettes.
That's about it.
But I
we
mean,
can't tie that.
okay, let's just stick with that for a second. Do you see Mickey as that kind of guy? I see him as a crappy father, but I don't.
I love him.
I don't see him putting cigarettes out on people. Do you?
I mean, they kind of hinted that there was abuse, but I don't know that it was like that. I mean, obviously anything's possible.
Right.
But,
They're all big drinkers.
Maybe.
Anything's possible.
here's the
Priests.
well, here's the thing too. If Mickey had done that, you think he would have done it to all the kids, and it's never been addressed with Bunchy or Terry.
You just don't know. You just
Yeah,
don't, but
that's
it's just
true.
strange
You don't.
that it's such a distinct thing to be burned as a child that's not something you could just kind of let go and have him around in your living room because your wife wants him around, and,
Yeah.
and your wife wouldn't let him around if that's what had happened to you as a
Exactly.
child. So very strange there. But okay, so back to more.
We have two more comments.
Brandon.
Beedro Dog says the look on Ray's face when Mickey has his hand was pure evil. And then Brandon has a couple comments. He says, "Yep, needs to be closure to Abby. It's been going on too long."
Too long.
And he says, "I think the Mickey thing somehow connects with Ray's sister Bridget."
What a great
Thank
comment
you.
for bringing
Thank
up Ray's
you.
sister.
Thank you,
We have
Brandon.
such an amazing chat family.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. We do. That's a great thought. Okay, well, I
Because she
I wanna
jumped,
know.
so it could have been.
And we don't know
Yes.
anything about her either.
Right.
Very little.
Very
Yeah.
little.
I want to
about her.
learn more
Very
about her
little.
too. That's a
Right.
really good point.
Yes.
Well, they're heading back east.
And they're heading back east, so we'll talk about that in our predictions. But we're heading back to New York, folks.
Yeah.
So, okay, Ray was not there for Abby's death, but Bridget was, and I was surprised. Okay, so first of all, Bridget, as we saw, she gets picked up by the cops at the end of last episode, and she's in the back of the cop car, and they whisk her away. So she's in a holding room. Obviously, Ray's determined to get her out, and we know that he will.
Of course.
And she's scared, but she's not that scared. I didn't think. I thought, I mean, maybe she just knew, like, my dad's got this.
She's there for a bigger purpose. She just wants to get out, go see Smitty. She knows her dad will do anything. That's why she's calm.
I think that's why she's so calm. But she's not really shaken by the whole. I mean, she has to take a cold shower, which seems to upset her.
Well,
but I'm just okay, really.
The biggest thing that I was wondering about was when she asked, I think Lena, she said, hey,
Lena, yep.
Lena, sorry, she asked her, hey, can you do me a favor? And I was wondering, she did look a little nervous to me, but not like a scared kind of nervous, but more like she was worried what they might find when they took her clothes and doused her. And like, that is what
That's what you thought?
That's what I was
Oh, that's what I
thinking.
didn't think at all.
I thought exactly what she did. She was going to call Terry to
That's
go
what I
check
thought.
on
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's
food,
what. Yes.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
she didn't know
And
what
we'll get to that in a second. That's a very cute scene between Smitty and Terry. Although
adorable.
unlikely, I thought, like, would this really happen? But the two of them are talking about women, so very funny. But I wanna stay with Bridget,
Yeah.
because in the car when she gets out of jail, she is so ungrateful. I mean, her
Ray
dad
should
just.
have left her in
I
there.
mean, she was so ungrateful. I was amazed. I mean, it's just kind of the daughter-father relationship, but she was acting much younger than her age. She was so not grateful.
I'm gonna side with Bridget on this,
Oh, all
only
right.
because this is supposed to be her father, and yeah, fine, her actions were definitely maybe younger, especially what she did in the last episode, but how she was reacting to Ray, I actually think is pretty normal considering what she's been through. She's lost a parent. She's lost the only parent that was really there for her in like an emotional way.
Yeah.
And Ray has been absent, and plus, not only that, but the man, we'll call him a man because he's...
Smitty?
Yeah, Smitty. She fell in love with him, and the reason why he isn't better is because of her father.
Well, yeah, and Ray Ray said something very harsh and said, "Why are you gonna go watch him die? You don't even know him.
He's a stranger.
That's
Why are you
awful."
doing this?
Yeah.
Was Abby a stranger? No, but you still didn't watch her and help her die.
Well, so no, I felt differently. I felt like Abby was the one to blame there, that she didn't give Ray the chance to watch her die. I thought Abby was in the wrong for basically killing herself
Yeah.
while he was away.
I agree with that.
So, and I understand why Bridget takes her mother's side. She's it's so classic how children and parents miss each other. And there's it's a little bit nostalgic, but there's an old Carly Simon song about parents.
Carly Simon.
Carly Simon, the singer,
I don't know
and
that.
there's this one quote: "Children hate their parents for the things they're not, and the parents hate themselves for the things they
Yeah.
are." And Ray has insight into himself that Bridget just will never have. She sees him as a father to her, and therefore he doesn't live up to those expectations. But Ray kind of knows the other side. I mean, so when Bridget says, like, you weren't even there to watch her die, well, it's just more complicated than that. And Abby didn't let him be there to watch her die. So I kind of took Ray's side with that. But I was amazed when she said, "Tell me you didn't sleep with Natalie James." I was like,
I'm happy she said that because
But how did she know?
on the airplane
How
on the
did
way
she
back
know?
to LA, there was the magazine
oh,
article
because of
online.
That's right. I see.
Yeah.
I
Paparazzi,
see.
TMZ, whatever
Right.
that was.
Yes.
She saw that while she was landing in LA.
Yeah. That's probably exactly how she knew.
Right.
Plus, yeah,
Okay.
otherwise it wouldn't have made sense because it's
Yeah.
not like Abby knew because she didn't know that Natalie even existed in
Existed,
terms
right.
of being near Ray. I mean, she might have known about her, but
Right.
not that she was a neighbor.
I mean,
Right.
speaking of Natalie and that whole plot line with Susan Sarandon,
Which we didn't see
Samantha
this episode,
Winslow,
and I thought we would.
I was just gonna
but,
say she's been MIA.
it
and
was very strange.
That's why, to me, this means that she's gonna come back season 6.
Oh, yes, I think so too.
we have some really interesting
Oh,
comments
great.
in the chat.
Oh, help us out, folks.
So, first of all, Bedro Dog says about the burner. I took it as a metaphor as Ray is going to get burned by trying to take down Mickey. Interesting. Roberta Wright says,
So good.
the anger management counselor said Ray was suffering from PTSD. That's years of unfortunate trauma. Something else happened to Ray we don't know yet. Beedro Dog has another comment. I think Bridget said to Ray what needed to be said. But
Yes.
did anyone else notice Ray asked Bridget not to go? Don't go, please. Ray has no one.
Oh, yes,
Great
yes.
insights. Awesome.
Yes, yes. And
Wow.
I did take note, like, Ray is really trying to connect with her in the limited way that he knows how. And Bridget's, of course, so done with it. And so, like, yeah, you've hurt me way too much for me to stay for you.
My heart really went out to Ray in that moment when he was
Yes.
saying, please stay, especially because we learned from Terry that he loves her most of anyone.
Yes.
So learning that, I mean, I never picked up on that. I always thought Abby, 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 but hearing it from Terry, I'm like, okay, well, he wouldn't have said that if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
But
And
it's also
Ray,
the father-daughter
Yes,
bond.
it's that
Yeah.
connection that will always be there.
And the thing is that I was like, yeah, I really understand where Bridget's coming from, but I really wish she would have stayed.
I wish she would have stayed too. And it was an interesting discussion they had, or a fight, when she says, what do you know about love? You're not the only one who knows anything about love, and you weren't even there to watch Mom die. It's the right thing to do, to go back to New York and hold his hand and watch him die, or be with him when he dies. And it was sad to hear Ray say, like, he's nothing to you. It's like,
that
you're
was
not getting it,
frustrating,
Ray.
yeah.
You're not.
And he won't get it.
And he
He's
won't
not
get
up
it.
to par for that. Like, his mind isn't expanded enough.
No, and if Smitty is just, I don't even think he remembers Smitty or remembered what he did. I mean, he knows literally, but it's gone. That was like many murders ago.
I wish Ray commented about Smitty. We always see Bridget mentioning
Pushing
and
him
Ray,
on this.
Ray just
won't acknowledge
I
in full.
hate
I
that.
agree.
He
I
would
hate that
say
too.
something.
Yes, I agree.
In fairness to Ray, he was about to say something. It felt like he was about to talk about it, and then Bridget interrupted him to say what she had to say. He was like, listen, Bridge, about that, and then she went on and kept talking.
Yes.
So I feel like he was about to maybe confess everything and tell her, but
Yes.
you're right, like he did, after she said what she had to say, he did have an opportunity, and he did not step up to the game and help her, but I just feel like at this point, he can't even help himself.
Right. No, he is without skills
Yeah.
at this
Just wanna
point.
give
He
Ray a hug.
That's why he drinks so much, and he drinks by the wine glass full. So okay, so we have more.
Yeah,
Roberta
Roberta Wright. So she says two things. One, Ray would never let Abby take those pills. She had to do it when Ray wasn't around.
Yes,
And then
true.
also, the night Ray went for that long walk, maybe Bridget recalled that. That's why she asked about Natalie James, which is a good point.
she
Yes.
did, because she
Yeah.
asked him, where were you? What did you
Yes.
do?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So basically,
Totally.
Ray leaves a trail wherever he is. But Bridget asks Lena to get in touch with Terry so that Terry can go see Smitty, so that Smitty knows why Bridget isn't around, and they end up having this sort
Bond.
of over Chinese food kind of
Yeah.
man to man, right? And it was funny to me that Terry would say to Smitty, like, "Oh, the love is of a good woman.
You're lucky.
You're lucky. I wish I were in your shoes."
And then he's like, never
I was
mind.
like, well, you know what I mean. So, and then he was there for Smitty when he was really sick. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a likely exchange? I mean, in the
Yeah.
end, Smitty and Terry are not
Terry-
friends. So
Yeah, but Terry was tied to Bridget with this whole Abby mess with the pills.
Yes.
So the only person that Bridget would even trust to go see Smitty
it's Terry.
would be Terry.
Also, the way Terry is, I believed everything that happened in that moment because he just seems like that kind of person
So honest.
who, yeah, and he would protect, like, I know there's all this talk about Ray being the protector, but Terry just as much fits
In a different way.
In a different way.
Yes.
But he is definitely a protector, but he's kind of like the more silent protector who's there and, like, does things by his actions in a different way to show that he's going to take care of someone.
I mean, he's not as
Speaking of-
messed up.
Well,
No,
speaking
not
of
at all.
protector and taking care of someone, he loves Daryl. No, Damon.
Damon.
And sees Damon slipping away slowly to his father.
yeah.
Well, so I thought that was unfair to Damon because the fact is Terry hasn't been around. And he doesn't show up again here. Damon has to text him and say, "You're coming, right?"
Yeah.
So he kind of kicks Damon's father to the curb, and to his father's credit, we don't know if he's really legit, but at least in this scene, to his credit, he's like, "I'm not going to get in the way here. I will step back." And so I'm hoping that Terry and Damon, and according to Terry, he says, we're getting right back down to basics. We're going to do it. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to get everything right, and you're going to train. And now Terry's not really showing up for him.
But
so.
also Terry's life is so out of control. He wants to be a father figure, a nurturer to someone else, and have some kind of organized life because he knows back home, for him, everything's in the air. We don't know about Maureen. We don't know his personal life.
Well, so all the more reason he should be there for Damon if he says he will be, I think. Because if he's trying to get a routine going in New York at the gym, then do it, dude. Do it.
I definitely agree with that. And I did feel like it was unfair to Damon, too, because... Okay,
His
fine.
dad.
Let his dad prove that he shouldn't be there first before you start kicking him out. Because his father had a really good point that he did some bad things in the past. Now he's claiming that he's sober. So let him, be around and see what happens. Worst case scenario, he starts acting up and they have to ask him to leave.
Right. So I still have great hopes for Damon.
Yeah.
That he's got all this potential and it's not going to get messed up by the Donovans and that there's still something good there. But it was interesting to see Terry be the conduit, which I have to say I didn't really believe, be the conduit for that clown joke on the street.
We
That
have
was
a
so
question,
bizarre.
too.
Yeah.
We do? Okay,
Speaking
great.
of Terry and the clowns, Beedro Dog asks, does anyone understand the street clowns and Terry? That didn't make sense at all.
Okay, so I think what happened is Terry's walking by and the secondary clown who's not talking takes his phone and kind of messes him up and somehow gets
something in
paper
his
in
mouth.
his mouth. It seemed to be like a gum wrapper.
But it was still really strange that it happened to say Michael, the name of the woman's father, unless she was planted too, so that they knew what she was going to say. So I'm sure there's a way around it, but the creepy part was, when...
So many Michaels.
Well, it was strange to me. Well, yeah, and I think that's the tie-in.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
But it was strange to me because what if Terry didn't go back that way?
That's true.
What if he went the other way to get a burrito? I mean, like,
Strange to me is that paper was in his mouth the whole time.
And he
was
didn't
at
notice
Smitty
it?
smoking weed or like drinking.
I agreed.
It's weird.
And a lot of
like,
time had gone by because he's throwing up. Smitty's throwing up. You're smoking weed, and you're eating
And then known a piece of-
eating.
What if the saliva blur the Michael written on the paper?
Yeah.
There's just so many questions. So we feel you, chat room. We feel you.
Yeah, and why a clown? Why?
The mime, right? It was a mime, wasn't it? A mime?
Well,
They were kind of mimes,
Yes,
yeah.
mimes
They
and
weren't
clowns.
really clowns.
why?
And then if you think about clowns, let's rewind to the opening.
Of course,
scene
where Terry's
with
a clown.
Terry's a
Yeah.
clown.
And Terry's a clown. Okay, just to show
Yeah,
how the mind
all over
gets
the
all
place.
trippy, but okay. Yes,
Beedro
more.
Dog says Mickey claimed his bad things were in the past also. Maybe that's why Terry acted that way toward the father.
Maybe.
I see. Right, because of
Yeah.
Terry's history with Mickey. You just don't
Yeah,
trust the
yeah,
father. If
exactly.
the father's gone in the beginning, he's
Only
not
kid
around.
left that likes him is probably Bunchy. And
Yeah.
Bunchy's a whole different kind of worm to talk
So
about.
Yeah.
Bunchy, our sweet Bunchy.
Bunchy!
So he's
Got
trying
cheated
to.
on.
Oh my god!
sorry, I'm
and I
not
knew
Bunchy,
it.
how we love you.
Come
I knew it the way
on.
she was looking
I
at
knew it.
yours.
I knew it. Oh, and from her, no surprise, no surprise. She was
You
like,
know what?
couldn't do it fast enough.
Just everything about her since day one was fishy.
Yeah.
Poor Bunchy.
Yeah.
Like crying and everything.
And he wouldn't, this is what I love about Bunchy, he wouldn't let her pick up the baby.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
He was like, no, I got
Now-
it. I got the baby.
Here's the thing. I will say that it's better that she at least told him and was
of
honest.
course, honesty.
But I think Bunchy even said, well, wait, were you drunk or something? And she's like, no.
No, some random guy.
Some
Yeah.
random guy.
I just
said
showed up to the
so.
show. So they've never had a great sex life. She's not been that interested in having sex with him
he
anymore.
doesn't please her, so she needs to go somewhere else.
I think that's accurate. And you know,
Just say it.
It was, yeah. No, he's not doing it for her. Yeah,
There you go.
That's. But so why is she still around? It's. Okay, I know why I would be
Security.
around the baby. Oh, there's no security with Bunchy.
$1 million
I mean-
that he has.
Right.
back.
All
he
right.
almost
Okay.
lost.
Yes. Right. And she wasn't angry about that, probably because the money came back.
Exactly.
But she wasn't that into the baby, so for a while I thought she was going to abandon the
Well,
baby
and-
and Bunchy.
This is what I didn't understand. It's like traditionally, okay, you have a newborn baby, well, relatively newborn. How could you just go off and tour when you have a baby at
'Cause
home?
she doesn't care.
Exactly. So the real question is, why is she still around? Because
Well,
it
that's
isn't
probably
the
the
baby.
money.
What
You're
did
probably
she
right.
see in him? Like, even before,
Nothing.
did she know he had money? We all know he's kind of special.
Yeah.
Maybe
And that's
he
why we love him. Yes. I in the beginning, I think for her it was fun. Like they had some, that chemistry in the beginning, but it's not a life that they could ever form anything around, I think. But yeah, he has the money back, and I think that's why. But I don't know. if she's just in it for the money, why would she tell him? Why would she risk that relationship?
Good point.
Maybe she does love him, and she just can't live with that guilt.
I think she feels bad that she's done the wrong thing. Not that she loves him, but that she's
speaking
done
of
the
the
wrong thing.
money, now he wants to buy the bar, which is.
But then
also
remember, he was
idea.
saying, "I'm relieved it didn't work out," which
Yeah.
is good because it's too much for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
what he's going to do with that money. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully next time he tries to bring it to a bank, though. Yeah.
We all know that the wife, if she was there present with him, she would have given him so much.
Well, it's
you know.
interesting because now he does have it still in cash in a diaper bag or something similar to that. And now that the wife is back, we'll see if she takes up with the money.
That's the thing, is that if that's really all she had been there for, I'm assuming he would have trusted her with the code to the safe.
Right.
So she would have been taking the money all along.
Yes. Yeah. Well, so we're kind of talking a little bit about predictions. So much going on. More questions. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Roberta Wright says, I think that was just, this is about the clowns and the mimes. I think that was just the lower Manhattan scene. I live in New York. Those mimes and clowns are always around, especially
cool.
42nd Street.
Oh, it's great.
Awesome.
Brandon Mason says, man, Bunchy can't catch a break.
No.
Yep.
And
Sweet thing that he is.
Roberta says, Theresa always knew Bunchy had money. She felt guilty about her transgression.
So she.
Yes. Okay. That sounds like Theresa.
Yeah.
That sounds like her. So, and I want to hear from the chat group as well. So where do you guys think EP 12 is going to take us, and then season 6 too? You guys.
Oh, us first. I was looking at
You
the
two, and then we'll get to the chat
we're
group.
going to New York.
Right?
I
Yeah.
think this is when Ray really wants to fix his relationship with Bridget. He's going to give it all, like, every inch of him, every bit of his soul is going to go towards that little girl to try to just reconcile. And
So now everything's pointing to New York. I don't know if you guys remember, but Sam Winslow said with Doug, fine, you take LA in the studios. I'll take New York
there
and
you
news.
go.
So Sam Winslow is also going to New York.
Yeah, 'cause
obviously
we-
Bridget's in New York. Terry's in New York.
Considering we only have
James is in New
one
York.
episode left of season 5, I was expecting some real huge shock to come from her character. So, since it doesn't feel like, we could get that shock, I don't know, in the next
From
episode.
Sam?
From Sam,
Uh-huh.
yeah. But since we, maybe if we don't get it in the next episode, maybe season 6 will be about Mickey and his revenge on Ray,
Right.
plus Sam, plus, like you said, I agree completely that Ray, maybe he follows Bridget to New York because maybe he realizes that she's all he could have left. For some reason, he doesn't try to go after his son.
maybe that will come back in season 6, or Connor will come back home after.
I don't think he feels that there's such a rift between him and Connor.
Yeah.
But what he needs to fix right now is Bridget. And I think he's dying to get away from LA because I think he feels like it's do or die. If I
Yeah.
stay here, I will die.
And maybe he doesn't want to continue to see Abby's ghost.
Yes, right. Although I would think she'd be everywhere on the East Coast as well. But you're right. I think
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. And I do think that Mickey is coming back for Ray.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
but I think he'll have traction there. And I
Yeah.
think Daryl's going to be the conduit.
I hope they all go to New York, including Daryl. I hope he doesn't stay back.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he'll go. I think Daryl
Yeah.
will go. Yeah.
Like Lena. Maybe they're going to pack up their bags and just do what they do in New York.
Right. But
You know?
it'll be interesting. Like, what about Doug Landry? I hope that's just not going to be, one more detail that we don't get the answer to. Just like Maureen. Well, how did that relationship end with Terry?
Or who watched the damn baby this whole time?
Yes,
that was bugging me.
That was bugging me too.
Wait, which part was
The
bugging?
baby.
The baby. Who watched the baby this whole time when Bunchy
Yeah.
was
Oh,
in
yes,
jail?
right. Who watched the baby? Yes, right. The baby comes, the baby
The
goes.
last
Yeah.
thing I remember is that Mickey was supposed to get the baby, and the baby was just in the daycare. So
Yeah.
she
The
probably,
whole time?
Yeah,
she
no,
probably would have
that's just-
called
yeah.
child services or something.
Right,
So how do
yeah.
they have the baby?
Right. Yes. How do they still have that baby? Yeah, I actually thought that the keeper of the daycare was going to keep the baby, but then not give it back to them because they didn't show up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you
She's
would
not
think
allowed to do
that,
that.
you would think that she has a priority, like a legal obligation, to call child services.
Right, yeah.
She almost did the one time.
Yes,
So you
yeah.
would think that she would have just done that.
Yeah.
I don't know though. We have
one
a
more.
couple of predictions.
Okay.
So Beedro Dog says, I think there will be a cliffhanger to carry us to season 6.
Sure.
Of course.
Maybe between Ray and Mickey. And then Brandon Mason says, season 6, Mickey versus Ray, Terry's relationship with Damon sours.
Oh.
Brendan finally makes a good investment. And
Yay!
we have Roberta Wright with, I think, a prediction. Bridget is very stubborn. I don't think it will be easy for her to forgive him. I
Yeah.
think Ray is going to see that Smitty gets the surgery in the finale, Doug Landry is a sleaze.
Oh, so that's not something we discover. That's already fact. That has been established fact by our chat group.
With Roberta.
But I want to see more about his sleaziness. You know what I mean? I think there's a whole character development there that never really took place. And was it Beatrice who said, whomever brought it up in the chat, it's been really bugging me why Bridget didn't go to Ray to fix the Smitty situation.
Roberta,
I'm sorry, Roberta.
Put him in there. Put Smitty in that situation.
That's what I mean. Ray has all this power, holding guns to people's head and making doctors do whatever. Ray could get him into that program. Ray could help Smitty. Why isn't Ray helping Smitty when he knows how important it is to Bridget?
Ray could get him into the program the same way he got him out of the
Exactly
program.
right.
He wants to do
Exactly
it
right.
himself. I think it's also a stubborn father-daughter
But
regret
Ray
thing.
could. I mean, it was weighing for at least a little bit. It was weighing on Ray's conscience. So that to me is like a loophole that doesn't make
She's
much
not
sense.
smart enough yet to do that. Her mind is all over the place.
Bridget?
I think she's so mad at Ray for a lot of reasons. She doesn't want to go to him anymore as a father figure.
But you'd think
to help.
she'd say, like,
Yeah,
you
you
did
would
it,
think.
you fix it.
You would think.
Yeah.
But
think.
Right.
I really want to see her become like a better version of Ray. So someone who's like super powerful, can take care of her own stuff. But
Bridget.
I would love to see that happen.
I don't think that's going to happen. I just
One
see
more
her.
question
She's
which I
so
thought about
she's
too.
so whiny, and it's okay because she's young. I understand, but she's far from that. Okay, let's see what they say.
Well, it's actually it's Beedro Dog. The question is, will Ray and the female surgeon get together?
I thought about that when they were walking in the hallway.
Wait a minute, Ray and
The doctor, the one that was in charge of that program.
The cancer doctor, Dr. Burstein.
Oh.
Or Burstein.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought about that because you know how Ray is with blonde.
Yes.
Ray.
Oh, Ray. Isn't she too old for him? I don't know. Interesting. Would that be? I mean,
Well,
it would be
that's
such a
one way.
Donovan twist of
She's a
fate,
young
wouldn't it?
doctor. She's young. She's not that old. I think
That-
Ray's older than her.
That's one way he gets Smitty into the program.
I was gonna say, so that would be one way
Just
to
saying.
like use his charms to change
I'm
the
happy
fate
that
of
she
Smitty.
didn't call off the case for Bridget. I'm happy that she went to jail at least for 10 hours. Just to add that in there.
Oh, so the therapist. Oh, I see. Okay, this woman. It's pretty cold between the two of them. I'm not sure if that. We'll see. We'll see if
see.
that'll happen. But I thought she would call it off on
When
Bridget
Ray
as well,
went
and
up to him, yeah.
but she
I'm
had
happy
nothing to
that
do
she
with it.
didn't, yeah.
And then she was all sort of high and mighty. You have to look at what's really going on here. And I was like, oh, baby, you don't know the half of it.
Yeah.
And you don't even
this
know
thing-
Ray,
yes, this-
please. So
you know,
many issues.
Yeah, there's so much whiskey. You don't even know the half of it. So,
Yeah.
well, we'll see. So, okay, my predictions for EP 12. Obviously, we're going to New York, season 6. My predictions for EP 12 is that something major is going to happen. So, it's probably with Mickey and I think two things. It's going to be on the Mickey Ray side because we're just going to see like Bunchy and Terry kind of go off and do their thing until season 6, I think. It's going to be the Mickey and Ray thing. And it's going to be Sam and Doug. Something's big's got to happen with Sam.
Yeah.
That makes everybody go to New York. So basically, Ray will be the same person in New York. He'll be working for Sam and killing people, and he'll be trying to get away from Mickey or putting Mickey back in jail again for like the 18th gazillion time. And then he'll be trying to work it out with Bridget. So it'll
God.
be like Ray's life in New York. And I'm sad to see Ray leave LA, I gotta say.
Yeah, me too. I don't
Yeah.
know why exactly.
You know
but
why
I
they're
am.
doing this? Because I saw him on, was it Jimmy Kimmel? I don't know which show it was, a few months ago. He said that he wants to work closer to home because he
lives
lives
in
in
New
New
York.
York. So he said, I would love for season 6 to be in New York, and he got what he wanted.
All right, so.
So you're the star of the show.
Yes,
You're going to get what
right.
you want.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's part of
why.
it too.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's the main reason.
Maybe
why
Liev
it's-
had some
That is
pull there.
interesting
Yes.
for us.
Well, okay, folks. So we will be back next week, and just FYI, next week is Halloween. Oh, and we are coming in our
dressed
costumes.
up.
So
We
we're
don't
going to be all
care.
dressed up. I'm going to be a food item. I'm just telling you. I'm a breakfast item. You can think on that until next week. And then I want to tell you that even though next week is EP 12, we're going to have a bonus episode November 7th. And Pooch Hall's going to be here for our bonus episode. And Dominique Columbus, our Damon, is going to be here. So you got to, all our chat people, you got to come back November 7th. We have an extra bonus Ray Donovan issue right here. Until then, until Halloween, my name is Elysabeth Alfano, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at DinnerPartyCHGO, on Facebook at Elysabeth Alfano, and all my celebrity interviews on thedinnerparty.tv.
What she said. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Louiza Sharamatyan. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LuluSharTV and on Facebook at Louiza Sharamatyan.
And I'm Rachel Goodman. What they both said. Thank you, everyone in the chat.
Yes, thank you, chat.
Our chat's popping.
You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Rach Goodman or on Facebook at Rachel Ann Goodman. I'm also the host for Young and the Restless AfterBuzz show on Sundays, as well as part of the Outlander panel on Sundays as well.
Oh, awesome. You know what? Let me throw that in there, too. On Sunday, I'm covering for the Netflix news show. So if you love Netflix, if you want to know what's on there, check us out at 7 p.m. on Sunday.
Hold up! Let me throw in there that I also host the Saturday Night Live show that we have every Sunday.
There you go.
The AfterBuzz show. And the next one is going to be November 5th, so I'll be hosting then. And until we see you next Halloween, so that's in 1 week. Bye, everybody.
That was hilarious.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.